So good evening, and thank you for being here for this press conference. First of all, I'm very pleased to host my counterpart, but more importantly, my friend, Jean-Yves Le Drian, the foreign minister, the French foreign minister. And I must say that we had a very productive meeting today where we discussed issues that are of importance and concern for us. This visit is also a timely opportunity for us to reaffirm our commitment from the bilateral level, and both at the European Union level, we contribute a lot, we work a lot together, but also on the bilateral level. So it was an opportunity to reaffirm once again our commitment to our excellent bilateral relations, but also our cooperation at the EU and international level. Apart from that, we are working together on the 5+5 meeting that is going to take place between today and tomorrow, and we are happy to also work with France in this format. That is something that is important for our regional relationship when it comes to the Mediterranean. During our meeting, we discussed two particular issues when it comes to the issue of migration and the way forward for the European Union to work together on the issue of migration, and that we have to have an agreement among the EU member states on how to deal with the issue of migration. But also, I thanked the minister for the support that France always gave to Malta when dealing with the issue of migration. Another point that we discussed at length is the situation in Libya, and it is a concern for both of us, the situation in Libya, but we are hopeful that with the support of the international community, including both Malta and France, but also with the support that we give to the Special Representative of the Secretary General, Mr. Salameh, but more importantly with the work that the Libyans themselves do, we hope that this year, especially before or by spring this year, we'll have elections in Libya, and we do support the work of the Libyan authorities in this direction to have and held elections in Libya. Of course, we are happy with the collaboration on the bilateral level, even because last year we managed to join the International Organization of La Francophonie, which we consider to be one of our milestones last year, and we are very happy to have acquired the observer status, and we look forward to actually work within this important organization. Finally, I would like to thank Minister Le Drian personally for his friendship and for his support to my country, and we are willing to continue working on the bilateral level, but also willing to continue working for the benefit of our region, the Mediterranean region, but also to tackle the challenges that this region and our neighborhood is providing us as a challenge and issues that we are concerned. Primarily, as I said, Libya and the migration issue, but not only. There are a number of other issues. And of course, the future relationship between the European Union and the United Kingdom. Maybe today we have more questions rather than answers to give, but of course, we need to work together also as member states when it comes to the future relations with United Kingdom. So thank you very much once again, and I give you the floor.
Merci. Mesdames et messieurs, je suis très heureux d'être parmi vous aujourd'hui avec Carmelo, que j'avais eu le plaisir de recevoir à Paris en juillet dernier. J'ai souhaité profiter de ma venue pour la réunion ministérielle 5+5 pour que nous ayons un échange approfondi sur les nombreux sujets qui nous intéressent tous les deux dans le cadre de l'excellence de notre relation bilatérale.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be with you today with Carmelo that I had the pleasure of welcoming in Paris last July. I wanted to make use of the ministerial meeting of the 5+5 in order to have an in-depth exchange of views on the numerous subjects of interest for both of us, especially within the excellent bilateral relations.
C'est une relation de grande confiance entre Malte et la France. Une relation de grande confiance entre nos États, entre nos gouvernements, entre nos diplomaties. Et c'est une relation de grande confiance tous les deux, puisque nous nous connaissons bien et nous avons une relation personnelle très forte.
There is a great trust between France and Malta, between our governments and between both of us, because we've known each other for a long time and worked together very well.
Nous avons en particulier apprécié le fait que vous ayez sollicité votre adhésion à l'Organisation internationale de la francophonie, que vous ayez été admis comme observateur. C'est un signe supplémentaire de la qualité de notre relation.
We appreciate most particularly that your candidature to the Francophonie organization. You are now an observer country, and this is another proof of the good quality of our relations.
Nous avons évoqué ensemble nombreux sujets sur lesquels nous avons des vues communes.
We talked about several subjects on which we have common views.
Carmelo a évoqué les points les plus importants. Nous avons parlé ensemble des migrations, dont je connais l'importance particulière ici. Et vous le savez, la France plaide pour des solutions européennes, concertées et solidaires. Et conforme à ces principes, la France a, ces derniers mois, répondu présente chaque fois que Malte a accueilli des bateaux. Et à chaque fois que Malte a sollicité l'appui des États membres.
My friend Carmelo talked about the most important issues that we tackled, and of course we talked about migration. I know how important this subject is for you here in Malta. France wants to have European solutions which are concerted and based on solidarity between member countries. And each time Malta needed help, France was ready to help. And France was also ready to help each time Malta asked for the help of the European Union member states.
Cela nous a permis de répondre à des urgences humanitaires, mais il nous faut maintenant passer à une réponse pérenne et satisfaisante, et nous avons une vision partagée sur cet horizon.
We were able to respond to humanitarian emergencies whenever they arose, but now we really need to have a sustainable and satisfying solution in the long term.
Nous avons, Carmelo et moi, le même intérêt pour l'avenir de la Libye, dont la stabilité passe par le processus de conférence nationale et l'organisation d'élections d'ici le printemps 2019 et l'unification des institutions civiles et militaires.
Both of us have the same interest in Libya's future, its stability, which is dependent on the Libyan National Conference, on the elections, which are supposed to take place from here until next spring of 2019, and the unification of the military and civilian institutions.
Nous avons aussi évoqué les prochaines échéances, les prochains enjeux européens, évidemment la question du Brexit, mais aussi la préparation du prochain agenda stratégique pour l'Union européenne, dont les chefs d'État et de gouvernement discuteront en mai prochain au sommet qui se tiendra en Roumanie à Sibiu.
We also talked about the next European issues and challenges, of course, the Brexit, but also the strategic agenda for the European Union, which will be a subject matter for discussion for the heads of state and government during their next summit in Sibiu in Romania.
Nous avons d'ailleurs apprécié la manière dont les autorités maltaises ont engagé des consultations citoyennes sur l'Europe et nous avons pu apprécier aussi les résultats de cette mobilisation.
We were also able to appreciate the citizens' consultations organized by the Maltese authorities on Europe and also the results.
Enfin, dans le cadre de la réunion 5+5 qui va se tenir ce soir et demain matin, nous sommes convaincus, comme Malte, de la pertinence d'une diplomatie méditerranéenne.
Finally, within the framework of the 5+5 meeting, which is going to take place this evening and tomorrow morning, like Malta, we are convinced of the importance of the Mediterranean diplomacy.
Et c'est cet attachement à notre mer commune et au projet qu'elle peut faire naître qui a poussé le président de la République française à annoncer la tenue en juin prochain à Marseille d'un sommet des deux rives, qui sera une espèce de forum de la Méditerranée. Et c'est une initiative que j'évoquerai demain avec nos collègues, mais à laquelle les autorités maltaises et le ministre des Affaires étrangères en particulier a bien voulu soutenir en organisant ici à Malte la partie jeunesse de cette dynamique des deux rives que nous voulons mettre en place.
We both have a very strong attachment to this sea, which is our sea, and to the programs and projects. And this is what encouraged the French president to organize in Marseille next June the Summit of the Two Shores, which will be the Forum of the Mediterranean. We are going to discuss this tomorrow with our Mediterranean colleagues, and I would like to express our appreciation to the Maltese authorities and especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for their support and for their willingness to organize the youth forum of this summit.
Merci.
If there are any questions, we'll be ready to answer them.
Minister, what is your reflection regarding the ongoing developments in UK with regards to Brexit? And you both mentioned the situation in Libya. How can the two parts work together with regards the situation, the ongoing situation?
Sur le Brexit, je vous suggère de poser la question aux Britanniques.
For the Brexit, I would like to make a suggestion. Maybe you could ask the British about it.
Parce que c'est de eux que dépend la réponse.
Because they have the answers.
Nous sommes dans une situation où il n'y a pas de majorité pour l'accord de retrait, puisque le vote a été négatif.
We are in a situation where there is no majority for the agreement because the vote was a negative one.
Mais il n'y a pas non plus de majorité pour le non-accord.
But there is no majority for a non-agreement.
Donc le chemin est difficile.
Therefore, the way is
Mais
very
en tout cas,
difficult.
en ce qui nous concerne, je redis qu'il appartient aux Britanniques de nous dire quelle option ils retiennent, en sachant qu'il n'y a pas de renégociation possible de l'accord sur lequel nous étions tombés il y a quelques semaines. Et il faut qu'ils soient conscients que nous ne pouvons pas accepter de solutions qui remettraient en cause cet accord ou qui porteraient atteinte aux intérêts de l'Union. Et sur ce point, l'ensemble des États membres a toujours eu une position unanime.
So we need the British to tell us what is their option. There is no renegotiation of the agreement. The agreement was, well, agreed upon a few weeks ago, and the United Kingdom must be aware that it is not possible to accept any solution which would jeopardize this agreement. All the member countries of the European Union were unanimous on this.
En tout cas, compte tenu de ces incertitudes, le Premier ministre français s'est exprimé tout à l'heure sur le sujet. Nous devons être préparés à tous les scénarios et nous nous préparons à mettre en place en France un plan de préparation en cas de no deal. Il faut que nous soyons immédiatement prêts à réagir et c'est ce que nous faisons.
Given the uncertainties of the present situation, the French Prime Minister made a declaration and he said that we were getting ready to all the scenarios and France is getting ready for a no-deal scenario. We need to be able to react immediately if this is the case.
Sur la Libye, je crois que nous avons dit l'essentiel l'un et l'autre. Nous sommes d'accord sur le fond, sur la méthode. Il faut que ce dossier reste un dossier prioritaire de l'Union européenne sous la présidence roumaine. Et il faut que nous poursuivions nos échanges dans la confiance, la transparence et surtout dans la lutte contre les trafics et le terrorisme, qui est sans doute la plus grande fragilité que nous ayons à l'égard de ce pays.
Concerning Libya, I think that we have, well, nothing to add. We are in agreement on the basics of this situation and on the methods needed to find a solution. This issue must remain one of the priorities of the European Union during the Romanian presidency of the European Union. There needs to be trust, there needs to be transparency, and we also need to continue the fight against traffic and terrorism. And I think this is one of our weaknesses right now.
I will add 2 points. First, on the issue of Brexit. That's why in my opening remarks I said that at the moment, as we speak, we have more questions rather than answers. At present, the British Prime Minister is having talks within all the groups in Parliament, or at least those who agreed to hold talks after the vote of 2 days ago. So now, let's say that the ball is in the court of the United Kingdom to come forward to the EU27 with some proposals for the EU27 to decide whether to consider or not what will be proposed. So that is the situation now. Of course, even Malta, as was said by Jean-Yves, that we need to prepare ourselves, and in some areas we are already prepared for a no-deal scenario as well. That's the case for all EU27, that we need to prepare for every eventuality. When it comes to Libya, I think what we need to do is to continue supporting the Libyan-owned and Libyan-led process, together with giving the support to Mr. Salameh, who is the Special Representative of the Secretary General. We also gave the support to the French President when he organized the summit in Paris, which was also a summit to give the support, necessary support to the Libyan people and the Libyan authorities, and first and foremost, that should be our attitude to give international support to Libya.
Two questions to the French Honourable Minister. So, with regards to Brexit, how are you preparing for any scenario with regards to the British Channel and the Dover-Calais link? Moreover, with regards to the immigration crisis, what are your views on the recent deaths in the Mediterranean? What are your views on the recent deaths in the Mediterranean? And what concrete measures is France proposing to solve the immigration problems and avoid bickering between governments on who will assume responsibility?
Il faudrait beaucoup de temps pour répondre à ces deux questions, sans doute une après-midi entière. Donc vous me permettrez d'être très concis. Pardon.
It would take a long time to answer your questions in detail, therefore please allow me to be very quick.
D'abord, sur la relation avec la Grande-Bretagne, la France prend ses responsabilités. Si demain la Grande-Bretagne sort sans accord de l'Union européenne, ça aura des conséquences sur les transports, sur le droit des citoyens, sur les échanges commerciaux. Et donc nous prenons toutes les initiatives nécessaires avec un texte de loi que nous avons fait passer au Parlement jusqu'à hier, aujourd'hui, et qui permet au gouvernement de prendre toutes les mesures nécessaires pour assurer le fonctionnement normal d'une relation avec un pays qui deviendra un pays tiers. Un pays tiers.
Well, concerning the relations with the United Kingdom, France must shoulder its responsibilities. If the United Kingdom decides to leave the European Union without a deal, then we must be ready for the consequences. And there will be consequences in the areas of transports, in the areas of the rights of citizens, trade. Therefore, today, the French Parliament adopted a law which enables the government to take all the necessary measures in order to and to make the decisions in how to treat the United Kingdom as a third country, because it is going to be a third country.
Sur l'immigration, il y a eu 3 grands principes qui ont été adoptés au Conseil des chefs d'État et de gouvernement du mois de juin dernier.
On migrations, 3 major principles were adopted last June at the meeting of the European heads of state and government.
Portant d'abord sur le renforcement de la sécurisation des frontières de l'Union européenne.
First one concerned reinforcing the European Union border security.
Portant ensuite sur une gestion complète du droit d'asile permettant de soutenir les personnes qui sont en besoin de protection et d'identifier les migrants irréguliers et de prendre les mesures nécessaires pour que chacun trouve sa place dans le dispositif, c'est-à-dire accueillir les demandeurs d'asile et faire en sorte que les migrants irréguliers soient retournés dans leur pays d'origine. Et troisièmement, avoir avec les pays de départ d'origine et les pays de transit une relation étroite permettant d'empêcher les trafics. Parce que le sujet, ce sont aussi les trafics. Et de faire en sorte qu'il y ait des mesures et des sanctions qui soient prises pour éviter ces trafics.
Second point was the global management of the asylum seekers, those and make the difference and identify those who need help and protection and those who are not qualified for asylum in the United Union. Help the first category and send back to their countries those who are not qualified. And the third point is to establish a close relationship with the countries of origin and the countries of transit in order to stop the trafficking in human beings and, if need be, with the imposition of sanctions.
Et sur ces 3 grands principes, il faut des orientations concrètes qui doivent être mises en œuvre avant la fin du mandat de la Commission actuelle, c'est-à-dire avant les élections européennes prochaines. Et nous y avons travaillé tout à l'heure avec Carmelo.
On these 3 principles, we will need to work in a concrete way, and there will need to be orientations adopted by the European Union. We hope that this will take place before the end of the mandate of the present Commission, that is before the next European elections, and this is what we worked on and are working on with Carmelo.
Y compris en intégrant le constat des actions d'un certain nombre d'ONG en Méditerranée, mais je me suis exprimé sur ce sujet dans mon propos introductif vers lequel je vous ramène.
Including taking into account the actions of some NGOs in the Mediterranean, but I made an observation on this in my opening remarks.
So thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you.